Hi guys, this is Jean from Happy Indulgence, and today I'm going to be going through my November book haul. There are a lot of books that I got from publishers, and I actually went to the bookstore before our Name of the Book Club meet and hauled a few books as well. So I'm super excited to be going through them. I'm not going to be going through them in any particular order, only because I'm too lazy to sort it out, but there are some arts for early next year which I'm excited about as well. So let's just get started. So the first one is Undying by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I have read this already. I really enjoyed it because it's the sequel to Unearthed, which is basically like a sci-fi tomb raiding book about solving puzzles in the temple, and the first book has also been optioned for a movie, which is super exciting. So this is the end of the duology. I'm not going to go too much into the plot for those who haven't read Unearthed yet, but it's basically about Amelia and Jules, who are basically following these alien people on their planet and trying to convince the Earth officials that they're aliens and that there's an invasion impending. So I really enjoyed Undying, but I gave it about 3 stars, and I'll leave you guys to a link down below to my full review when it's up on my blog. A big thank you to Alan and Unwin for sending me this review copy. Next book I received is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons, and this is actually from Pan Macmillan Australia, and this comes out in Australia in February 2019. I haven't heard too much about the plot. The plot reminds me a lot of The Name of the Wind for some reason, because it's a guy called Kieran who was raised in a brothel and makes money as a musician and a street thief, which sounds really familiar actually. And one day he targets Noble's mansion and witnesses a prince performing a terrifying dark magic ritual. So he's basically being claimed by this prince's royal house, and he becomes tangled in a plot to kill the emperor, rob the imperial vaults, claim a god-slaying sword, and free bound demons to wreak havoc across the land. And he also discovers the old tales about demons and dragons and gods and all of that sort of good stuff. So it sounds really familiar, basically Name of the Windish, but it's a new fantasy that I'm excited to read actually. The next one is The Wicked King by Kay Ancrum, and I bought this at a bookstore, and I've actually just finished reading it like just yesterday, and I really enjoyed this one because it's about 2 boys who are codependent. One of them has a mental disorder, and basically the other boy is basically just influencing him throughout the whole thing. It has great bisexual representation in here, and I found it to be like a really thrilling read because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know what's happening to this other boy as he sees visions of things happening from the past, and it's really interesting. It was a really compelling read. The chapters are really short and descriptive. This was actually an unexpected favourite, and I did give this one 4.5 stars. I also bought The Rift by Rachel Craw. I don't know too much about this book yet, but I have enjoyed the Spark trilogy by her as well, so I was really looking forward to reading this book. It's about the Rangers of Blackwater Island. It's about a guy called Cal West, who is an apprentice ranger with a rare scar and rare gifts, fights daily to prove that he belongs in the ranks, and Meg Archer, who returns to her childhood home on the island, and it's basically about both of them trying to defend the island because they're facing a new threat. So that sounds really interesting. It sounds super vague, but I have heard really good things, and I can't wait to read this book. Next book I bought is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I really couldn't help myself, guys, because I have heard so many good things about this series from my friends Read at Midnight and The Quiet Pond, who are both wonderful bloggers. Basically it's about how Jade can give people advanced abilities, and it's set in like a Hong Kong-like city called Janlun. It's about 2 clans erupting into an open war. I did give this book a go a few months ago on audiobook, but the narrator really wasn't my favourite, so I wanted to give the physical copy a bit of a go myself. So hopefully I do a lot better with this one because I know there's such a huge fandom behind it. I also bought Saga Volume 9, and if you did watch my previous wrap-up video, I have actually caught up on the Saga series, so I'm up to 5 at the moment, and I'll be reading the rest of them while I'm on maternity leave, so I'm excited, and I can't believe Volume 9 is out already. Another book I bought is the Special Collector's Edition of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Look how beautiful this edition is, guys. Oh my gosh, how could I not buy it? So this is basically the US special edition, and I prefer to get this one because it has the slipcase to keep my books nice and neat. And look, it has like a lot of chapter artwork and Eye of Elena and stuff like that in this book, and it's just a really gorgeous edition that I'm glad that I own now. So it just goes in there like that, and that's beautiful. Okay, so now looking at the rest of the books, all of them I received from publishers for review, and one of them is Imprison the Sky, which is part of the Elemente series by A.C. Gorkin. Oh my gosh guys, I got this from Bloomsbury and I was super excited because it's an arc, and I really enjoyed the first book, which is Reign the Earth. The first book was a super confronting read about a woman trying to escape from her circumstances because there's a lot of rape, and it's like an arranged marriage, and she marries an abusive husband who has the weight of the world on his shoulders, so she doesn't know that she's in the wrong, but eventually there's a really empowering journey that she goes through. It was a really rough read, but I really enjoyed that book and gave it 4 stars. So obviously I'm excited about Imprison the Sky as well. And it looks like Imprison the Sky is actually like a spin-off book, so it isn't a direct sequel. So it's about a girl called Aspasia who has clawed her way up the ranks of a black market. She uses her powerful magic to free women and children and other survivors from slavery as much as she can, and her power is air. In this series there's like different elemental powers, and she finds herself in the center of a brewing war that spans every inch of the ocean, and she may not be able to save the people that she wants to. So it sounds like another super confronting read like the first book was, and I can't wait to read it. So this book will be coming out in Australia on January the 22nd, 2019. Next book I got is from Data Book or Hachette Australia, and that is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Ever since I read this synopsis, knowing that the December or November fairy loot was going to include this book, I really wanted to read it. I haven't read any Brandon Sanderson books yet, but that's definitely on my TBR for this month while I'm on maternity leave. Well, I still can because I own quite a few of his fantasy books. Anyway, so Skyward is about a girl called Spencer, and her world has been under attack by aliens. It's basically set in a sci-fi world. She wants to be a flight pilot, but her dad was a pilot and he was basically killed years ago when he deserted his team, so no one else will let her become one. This book is about survival and her desperation to become a pilot, and it sounds amazing. I have heard really good things about this one so far, and I think it'll be a great introduction to Brandon Sanderson's books, especially since it's sci-fi as well, and you guys know I love my sci-fi. Next book I got from Hachette, who is also Data Book, is an arc of The Girl King by Mimi Yu. Look how beautiful this arc is. I'm super excited about this one. So basically this book comes out on the 10th of January, and it's about 2 sisters called Lu and Min who are princesses of the empire. One of them is destined to become the dynasty's first female ruler, and the other one is resigned to a life in her shadows. Their father decides to declare a male heir instead, and it sets their life into turmoil basically. Imagine growing up thinking you're going to become a ruler and then something else happens instead. Lu goes on a run. She tries to get an army to rebuild her throne and win it back, and Min has a hidden power that awakens. So it sounds super interesting, and you guys know I love my diverse own voices Asian fantasy, so I can't wait to read this one, and it will be out on the 10th of January. Next book I got from Hachette is a book called Izzy and Tristan by Shannon Dunlop, and this is an arc, which is why I've got this beautiful artwork. I actually hadn't heard of this one before, but apparently it is a contemporary that is inspired by Romeo and Juliet. So you've got Izzy, a bright aspiring doctor who has recently moved to the Lower East Side. She feels distanced from her family. You've got Tristan, who is a chess prodigy. He lives with his aunt, and basically they meet each other, and it sounds like a contemporary remake of Romeo and Juliet, but it will be out in March 2019. Next book I got unsolicited, and that is from Swoon Reads, and this is Match Me If You Can by Tiana Smith. So it sounds like a bit of a romance book, like all the books from Swoon Reads. It's basically about a girl called Robin who is known for her matchmaking skills, sets a girl up called Mia with a guy of her dreams. And is it just me, or is every book character these days called Mia? Anyway, Mia gets asked out, and then another guy kind of likes her, and then she has to choose between the two of them. So that's basically what this plot is about. And this book is from Pan Macmillan, Australia, and it will be out on the 8th of January. Next book I got is Watch Us Rise from Bloomsbury, Australia. This is another arc, and this is by Renee Watson and Alan Hagen. And this is what the arc looks like on the back. It'll be out on the 12th of February. And basically, I haven't heard too much about this book either. So this book is about Jasmine and Chelsea, who are best friends and are sick of the way that women are treated at the New York high school, and they start a women's rights club. They post their work online, they get a lot of support, and suddenly it escalates into something that they did not expect, because all the young women want to be heard. So it sounds like a really empowering read, especially off The Hate U Give, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. Next book was also an unsolicited copy, and it's called Do You Dream of Terror 2 by Tammy O. And this is a sci-fi read from Simon & Schuster Australia. I read this blurb and I was totally in. I was really excited to read this one. And basically it's about 10 astronauts who are leaving the world behind because they want to populate another planet called Terra 2, and there's 6 of them are teenagers who have trained for this mission, but then obviously something goes wrong, as it always does when you go into space and the space is involved. It says it's a combination of The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet, which I really enjoyed, and The 100. It really does sound like The 100, but with diverse characters as well, which is really great. So this one comes out on the 7th of March 2019. It sounds really fascinating and I have heard good things so far. Next book is A Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee that I was lucky enough to receive for review from HarperCollins Australia. I have read this book, I think I read it on ebook before I got this arc, and I was super disappointed in it, and I do have a discussion review up with my full thoughts down below, which I'll link. That's where me and my co-blogger Jenna discussed our thoughts on this book. She enjoyed it a lot more than I did. I just found Felicity's character to be really abrasive and preachy and really dismissive as well of other people's thoughts and their beliefs, and she had a lot of learning to do in this book. It's a really feminist book, but it also has a lot of white feminism, so I didn't feel like it was inclusive when it came to the POC characters, which is unfortunate. So I gave this one 3 stars. I was super disappointed, seeing as how much I loved The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue earlier this year. Last book is Heartstopper by Alice Osman, and this is a graphic novel bind-up. It looks super cute, and I can't wait to read this one. Oh look how cute that is. So I think this one was from Hachette Australia as well. It is coming out early next year, and apparently this is a super famous webcomic series, which I haven't heard of, but hey, I'm definitely happy to give it a go, especially since it looks like it's a cute LGBT read. So I'm not going to lift up all my books that I got, but I hope you guys enjoyed my book haul, and if you did, if you've read any of them, if you want me to pick any of them up, leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.